Hey mamas, I'm Brooke Miller, registered dietitian, certified lactation counselor, and a mama who has helped hundreds of moms feel like themselves again after baby, boost their energy, mood, metabolism, and even milk supply. Inside of the Postpartum Shift podcast, you'll learn how to take care of your health so that you can show up best for the ones you care about most. Each week, we'll tackle topics like nutrition, exercise, breastfeeding, mental health, and so much more. Plus, you'll get access to guest experts who will share ways to make your pregnancy and postpartum experience easier. Whether you're approaching the postpartum period or you're right in the thick of it, you're in the right place. Let's dive into today's topic. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Postpartum Shift podcast. And today we have an extra special guest with me. We have Amy from Expecting and Empowered, and we are going to be talking all things exercise during pregnancy and postpartum. So Amy, can you just tell us a little bit about you and even Crystal and just how you guys created this business of Expecting and Empowered and what your mission is to help moms?
Yeah, Brooke, thank you so much for having me. It's always so good to chat with you. So, I own Expecting and Empowered with my sister, Crystal. We are about 20 months apart. And one really interesting thing about us is that we had our first babies really close together. So, they are only a few months apart. So, we got to go through the pregnancy process together. And some more background on us is Crystal and I both have exercise science degrees. She went on to become a physical therapist, and we both took an interest in women's health and prenatal fitness. So we kind of already knew what we should be doing during pregnancy, but what we didn't realize is how tough and demanding it was going to be. And so when we were going through it, we were like, wait a minute, we know what we're supposed to be doing. And this is still really hard for us. Crystal
Mm-hmm.
even had some pubic symphysis pain and some back pain. And here she is a physical therapist. So
Mm-hmm.
that really not only did it take us by surprise, but it also taught us like, okay, even if you know what you're supposed to be doing, it's still hard to implement.
Mm-hmm.
So we go ahead, we have both these babies, and I'm headed to the gym to work out postpartum. On my way to the gym, I happened to see this Facebook post. It was from my friend who was pregnant. And this was at the time where Facebook was really big. And she said, does anyone know what to do for pregnancy workouts? So I clicked to the comment section and I just could not believe what women were recommending.
Oh,
Obviously,
yeah.
they meant really well, but at the time, because this was 8 years ago, 9 years ago, there wasn't like a really good resource.
Mm-hmm.
So I go inside, my wheels are churning, I go through my workout. I call my sister on the way home and I said, Crystal, I think we should come up with something that is much easier than what is out there. I think women need help. I think they don't know what to do. And as we
Mm-hmm.
both went through like that, it is hard. It is hard to know
Yeah.
what to do. So she said yes in an instant. We both laugh because, as we were talking about right before we got started, it has been so much work to put this business together, like sweat, tears, hours, years of our
Mm-hmm.
lives poured into making it what is now an app for women to have an easier experience than what we had, than what was available at our time. So
Mm-hmm.
that's how Expecting and Empowered was born. We started with a pregnancy program, and then our own customers, basically, as soon as we were done with the pregnancy program and people started going through it, and then they finished it and then they had their baby, they said, we need a postpartum program. Like, we think
Mm-hmm.
postpartum is just as confusing, if not more confusing than pregnancy. So we just listened to our customer and we made that. So it has been a challenging journey, but every time we read the reviews of our app, we talk to our community, like we know it's been absolutely worth it.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. And as a user of your app, I absolutely love it because I've always been the type of person like before COVID, I would go into the gym and I would do group exercise because I want to be told what to do.
Yeah.
I don't want to think like as moms, especially
we're so overwhelmed and overstimulated. There's so much thinking involved in our day. And so I loved going to the gym so that somebody could just tell me what to do.
Hmm.
And then COVID happened, the world shut down. And ever since, I've been working out only at home. And then when the app came out, I was like, oh, thank God, it's something I can do at home during nap time. Somebody's telling me what to do. I can look at how many weeks postpartum or pregnant I am. And I've gone through, several different pregnancies using this. And it just takes like that mental guesswork out for moms, which I think is really important because, yeah, we're just so easily exhausted and mentally overstimulated when it
Yeah,
comes to our day.
absolutely. That was our entire goal is like we were thinking like why don't we make something where it can be done at home. At the time
Mm-hmm.
when our kids were really little, we needed to be able to run down to our basements and do our
Yes.
workouts. We thought, B, why don't we make this where they need minimal equipment? Like, we
Mm-hmm.
do not want this to cost a fortune. We do not want
Yep.
people to need all of this extra equipment. Like, we want to make this really, really simple for people. We
Mm-hmm.
listen to our customers because at first the workouts were longer. They're like, whoa, 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 whoa. I have 30 minutes. Like, I want
Yeah.
a
Same.
30-minute workout. So we decrease the time. They're 30-minute workouts now. Our customers ask for a pause button. They're like, hold on a second. The baby wakes up from the nap. That doesn't mean I want to end my workout. I want to pause my workout, be able to take care of my baby, and then come back to it later. So, all along the
Mm-hmm.
way, we really want to fit into our customer's life. And as we talked about before, some women still love to go to the gym because she's like, you know what? I don't want
Mm-hmm.
to be interrupted by the baby. I still want to go to the gym.
Yes, I want to go by
Yeah,
myself.
it works in a gym. Like everything that you will
Mm-hmm.
need will be at a gym. You just need a little bit of space and you can do our workouts at a gym. So whatever you want to
Yep.
do, we wanted to make it so that you're able to do it.
Yeah, and then can we just dive into some of the most important benefits for moms to exercise during pregnancy? And I know some moms might be listening to this thinking like I'm so exhausted, I have morning sickness, I don't feel good. But just the importance of bringing in any type of movement, whether it's walking, strength training, yoga, cardio, whatever makes sense for their season of life and how they're feeling. Can you just dive into some of the most important benefits for doing this during pregnancy specifically?
Well, absolutely. This is one of my favorite topics and something I could talk about like all day long because the one that I always lead with is actually mental health and
Mm-hmm.
self-esteem and confidence. Because
Mm-hmm.
I think when we're talking to this group of women, one thing that we just have to be honest about is a lot of times it's the first time in someone's life where they're continuously expanding. And it's what our
Mm-hmm.
bodies are supposed to do. When we
Yep.
are pregnant, that whole time, our body is made to expand and grow this baby. That's the goal of pregnancy. Like we are going to be
Mm-hmm.
gaining weight and we are going to see our bodies in these forms where you probably haven't seen it before. So,
Mm-hmm.
for a lot of women, that can be really hard mentally, even if you're really excited for this baby, like to see these weights that you might not have seen before, to see your body this size that you might not have seen before. So I like to really tell people one thing that you can do, and this is science, not my personal opinion. When you're working out, that is one sure way to build your confidence, to build your self-esteem. I
Mm-hmm.
love to strength train because that is a proven benefit of if you feel strong, you're like, you know that you're strong. Like your body
Mm-hmm.
feels good. You know you can lift that thing. So, but even if you're going to go out for a walk and grab fresh air, if you've ever heard any therapist talk, they say the number one thing they recommend to their client before any, prescription medication or anything like that is to get outside and go for a walk. Like that
Mm-hmm.
is how important it is to humans and our mental health. And a lot of people nowadays are skipping that. And
Mm-hmm.
I would just like love to bring that back to everyone's normal routine. Of course, the things you
Mm-hmm.
mentioned are true. Some people feel very sick in their pregnancy. We totally understand that. Like, we are not the type of company that's like, who cares? Get out there anyways. It's like, what do? We work with the good times. Like, people have
Mm-hmm.
found there's better times in the day to work out.
Yeah.
Maybe some people feel better at certain times of the day. Maybe some people feel better after they eat. Maybe some people feel better in the second trimester. Like that is
Mm-hmm.
going to look different for everyone. I think being gentle with yourself during pregnancy is something that everyone should try to bring that to the table. Another
Mm-hmm.
thing I want to mention too with our programs specifically is that pregnancy is a journey. And I always say it is like a marathon. It is
Mm-hmm.
not easy. And do not let anyone convince you. Like it is, you're gaining weight. A lot of it comes on your front side. And so if
Mm-hmm.
you do nothing to counterbalance yourself with muscle, that's where
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the aches and pains that we hear about, you know, such common things like lower back pain, sciatica, pubic symphysis pain, round ligament pain, like a lot of these things can be lessened with
Mm-hmm.
strength training. Like pregnancy doesn't have to be horrible if we have a sound strength training program in place. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what we try to spread the word on. And I know you'll appreciate this. A lot of times, our biggest compliments are from women that have found us during their second pregnancy. So
Mm-hmm.
their first pregnancy, they didn't know about expecting and empowered. They didn't do much when it comes to working out, and they had a horrible pregnancy. And so they
Yeah.
got onto Google and they were like, what can I do? Because that was horrible and I cannot do that again, especially because now they have a toddler at home
Yeah.
and they're like, I have to do something different. And so they find us and we feel so thankful. And they will send us the nicest email in the world being like, you changed my pregnancy because just following this program, like I feel more like myself. I can do this. I made it the whole way. I felt 10 times better. Um, and it's nothing crazy, Brooke. Like you've done the program. Like it's not, we don't have you doing anything crazy. It's like a really
Mm-hmm.
doable program. It's just the right exercises as prescribed by a physical therapist and a personal trainer.
Yeah. And when I think, I don't know if you felt this way too, but I actually felt like my labor process and delivery went a lot faster and smoother. And I think part of that was because I was so active during pregnancy and strength training throughout pregnancy. And so if you're, if you're listening to this and you're really scared about having a really long, exhausting labor, I mean, don't get me wrong, it will be exhausting regardless, but the more that you can strength train and build these muscles, before you go into labor, it can really make that process a little bit easier.
Yeah, and there's some science to back that women that exercise do have shorter labor and deliveries,
Mm-hmm.
which that's it's just so awesome to think about. And the way I think about it too is it's such a physically demanding event. Why wouldn't we train for it? It's kind of like
Yeah, it's like a
going, yeah,
marathon.
it's like if you would go to a marathon with no training, everyone would be like, what are you doing?
Yes.
So train for it. And as we're going to talk about, postpartum is also so physical. And so that too, it's like if you don't have the training and the strength to take care of this baby, like that's also where people run into so much pain. And what people also don't talk about is pain really impacts mental health. Like if you
Mm-hmm.
have neck pain, back pain, like a lot of the common postpartum pain that comes up for people, mentally, that's very hard on a new mom.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I think, it can make postpartum easier too if we're strength training or moving our bodies throughout pregnancy. It can make the first few weeks and it can actually set you up for less pain in the
Mhm.
postpartum process. And so, yeah, those are just so many benefits to moving your body. And so if you're listening to this and you're really sick and you're nauseous and you feel awful, maybe the first step is just a 5-minute walk
Yeah.
outside slowly, just because that fresh air, when I was very nauseous in my first trimesters, that fresh air actually made me feel better. And then I was able to sometimes even get in, feel better, and then do a 5 to 10 minute strength workout. Nothing crazy. Or sometimes I would say, oh, that's all I needed right now.
Yeah.
And then once I got into my second trimester, then, it felt good enough. And so there are just so many benefits. And so many moms come into the postpartum period struggling and they're always like, when should I start doing all this? When should I start preparing? And I'm like, during pregnancy, ideally. Like, this is actually when we want to start implementing a lot of these habits because it makes postpartum easier. And then if you're listening to this and you're like, I'm already in the thick of it, I'm already postpartum, it's never too late.
Right.
Both you and I are so passionate about just helping moms have such a beautiful and empowering experience during pregnancy and postpartum. Like, we want moms to feel their best. And when we're not feeling good physically, it impacts our mental health. When we're not feeling good mentally, it impacts our physical health, like so many aspects. And so exercise is one of those things that it improves our mental and our physical health. And so it really is important during this season of life.
Absolutely. I feel like a lot of our work, Brooke, actually crosses over because you and I also, before we got started, we were chatting about the all or nothing mindset. And I feel like a lot of women listening, when you're hearing me talk about pregnancy exercise and maybe you're postpartum and you didn't exercise a single lick and now you're feeling bad about yourself, it's like, that's not the goal,
Yep.
What's done is done. You have to just have that attitude of like, you know what? I didn't know, or I honestly couldn't, and that's okay. Wherever you are now, it's a fresh day. And like you were saying, if you went for a 5-minute walk, instead of being like, I can't believe that's all I can do. Look at my friend Alyssa. She's out there on a 13-mile hike. It's like we get so in our heads about what everyone else is doing, what everyone else has time for, what everyone else's body can do. And it's like we really have to, instead of having that mindset, I really like to shift and give myself credit. Like I say that even for the women inside of our apps, if you had to press pause at 10 minutes or 15 minutes because your baby woke up and you can never come back to that workout, like your day got away from you and that's all you, give yourself credit for 10 minutes.
Yep.
Give yourself credit for 15 minutes. That's way better than 0. And you did it, and be so proud of yourself because this season of life, I'm getting teary. This season of life is not easy. And so like the fact that you can even think about nourishing your body well or working out is so good on you. Like we are so proud of you for that.
If you've been wanting to reach your healthiest weight and feel like yourself again postpartum without having to sacrifice your favorite foods or your milk supply, I've got a free workshop just for you. Inside of this free workshop, you'll discover how to boost energy, mood, metabolism, and even protect your milk supply. You'll learn common mistakes that moms make that actually cause exhaustion, mood swings, low milk supply, and weight loss resistance to become worse, things that moms don't even realize. And you'll learn the proven 3-step method to heal your hormones and metabolism after baby so you can go from surviving to thriving postpartum. Plus, as a free gift, you'll get my postpartum snack guide when you come hang out with us. All you have to do is click the link in the show notes to save your seat today. Spots are limited. See you there.
Yeah. And I've had some moms in the program recently where they haven't done any exercise and they're like, I'm so proud. I did 2 minutes today.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I'm so proud of you. Like, you're building that habit. And once you build that consistency of 2 to 3 minutes a day, now next week you can build up to 5. And then the next week you can build up to 10. And like, that's actually what's going to be way more beneficial versus going from 0 to even a 30-minute workout. Like, that's actually intimidating for a lot of people. And so letting go of that all or nothing mentality with food and exercise is so important. And something else that I just thought of as you were speaking is when we are moving our body, we're going to have better mood, better energy. It's going to actually be easier to nourish our bodies because we have better energy. And then it's the same thing. If we're undernourished, if we have deficiencies, we're going to be exhausted. We're not going to be, feeling our best. It's going to be harder to exercise. So these go hand in hand. It's like when you're moving your body in a way that feels good, you're actually going to be able to meal plan and like get foods on the table and like get in your 3 meals and your snacks a day and eat enough, and vice versa. If you decide to start with nutrition first, once you start nourishing your body, you're going to have better energy. And then you're going to say, oh my gosh, I can go get in my workouts today. I actually have the energy to do that. And so nutrition and exercise, they do really go hand in hand during this season. So maybe if you're struggling with both right now, just pick one to focus on. Once you get one dialed in, the other one will 100% become easier. Yeah. So, can we talk now about postpartum? So, when we get into the postpartum phase, what are some benefits of exercising during the postpartum phase that are a little bit different or unique compared to pregnancy?
Okay, so one for me, and we talked about this a little bit, but I just want to hit home on this different part that I don't hear a lot about is I did struggle with a decent amount of anxiety,
Mm-hmm.
especially after my firstborn, but even after my secondborn, where I just felt super cooped up. Um, I loved the newborn days, and a lot of the time you're right there by the baby, you're in the house most of the day. Like that was the role that I was in, but I tend to be like a pretty active person. So when my partner Drew would get home from work, I would often go for a walk. So this is like in pretty early postpartum. So in the beginning, not recommended to go too long, but even for me going around my 0.5 mile loop,
Mm-hmm.
getting that fresh air, taking a break, and honestly being by myself.
Yeah.
I know everyone's different. Like some moms love to go on a walk, put the baby in a carrier, put the baby in the stroller. But for me, I still felt on when I did that.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, honestly, for me, I want my husband to be home, my husband to be on, and I want
Yeah.
to go and be by myself. Like,
Yes.
so early postpartum, that walk was a saving grace. And also, this isn't exercise, but my shower before bed where I could be absolutely
Yes.
alone was so good for my mental health. And I would do these little neck stretches where you just look at the ceiling and you just stretch up, and I would take my time and I would listen to music, and I just did not want to hear a baby cry for 10 minutes. So I just wanted to add that to the conversation because I don't think you hear a lot of moms be so honest and say, I just really needed to be by myself. It was a 10-minute walk and a 10-minute shower. Like that is
Yes.
not asking for too much, in my opinion, at all. And then that really helped me to stay mentally well. But then
Mm-hmm.
postpartum, you know, to feel your best, the thing that a lot of people might not realize is we're in a forward leaning position. Like if you're breastfeeding, your breasts are heavier. And then
Mm-hmm.
if you're breast or bottle feeding, you're leaning forward. We're often looking at our baby. We're often just in this forward position. So doing exercises. So the beginning of our postpartum app, we have a lot of things like reverse flies, things that are going to help your back muscles. So we
Mm-hmm.
want to keep you out of that neck and upper back pain that I was talking about earlier. So it's going to help you to not have pain. We have a lot of breathing exercises. So I know
Mm-hmm.
everyone's like, breathing is intuitive, but when we feel anxious, when we're taking care of someone else all day, we're not getting these really deep diaphragmatic breaths, and that's really healing to our body. So we actually have you run through those. We do
Mm-hmm.
core, we're like waking our core back up. Our core just had to stretch all the way out, so we're just helping it to re-engage and relearn how to do its job. So yeah, there's like endless benefits to postpartum exercise. It starts very slow and it has to be a progression. So I
Yeah.
think where some people go wrong is they want to, at 6 weeks, which is like this unicorn number that we've just picked out. They just want to
Yep.
jump back in to like their boot camp class that they loved.
Mm-hmm.
But what it should really look like is that you progress back up to your class. We want to get you
Yeah.
back there too. Like we're not trying to hold you out of something you love, but to keep you safe, we need a few more steps to get you there.
Absolutely. And for the moms listening to this who I want to go back to when you were talking about the shower and the walk by yourself. For those moms listening to that piece and saying, but I feel guilty. I feel guilty asking my partner to watch the baby so I can go get a shower. I feel guilty asking for help. what would you say to that mom who is not even giving herself 10 minutes throughout the day, whether it's exercise, a hot shower, coffee? What would you say to that mom who, who knows she needs it, maybe on a logical level, but she hasn't given herself that permission yet?
Well, I've kind of done the case study for you guys. I can tell you what happens. You become resentful. Like you
Yeah.
become resentful of your partner, even if you have a super loving relationship. When you have one child, sometimes you can like carry such a heavy load, but eventually it does start to crush you. And like you
Yep.
you can think that you're super mom and super woman and like I don't know what everyone else is talking about, but then one day you're just like you come back into the room and you see him already, this is a true story, you see him already tucked in bed with sheets up to his chest, and you just put two kids away and it's the end of the day and you're like, I can't do this anymore. Like I can't carry
Mm-hmm.
this much because like seeing you already tucked into bed when I just battled two kids through bedtime because I thought I wanted to be the mom that put these kids to bed every single night. It's like
Mm-hmm.
you will snap. And so everyone coming behind me, I've tried to be so honest about that of like I tried that and it you eventually hit that breaking point. Um so before it comes, I would have preferred if I would have taken the breaks.
Yeah.
It didn't work for either of us because my husband, my partner, he was like, I think you should take a break. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think this is good for you, like he saw it coming. But
Yeah.
I just, yeah, I had that guilt. I think more people are learning to not have as much guilt. Um, but it does end with like resentment and burnout and
Yeah.
you not feeling well. And then you're not as patient with your partner and eventually with your kids as you
Yeah.
want to be. So, like,
Exactly.
the mental health of the mom matters so much to the family. No one can survive without breaks.
Yeah, and that's something I think both you and I have similar personalities with that too. I think I don't know about you, but I carried this like badge of honor, like I can do it all. Look at me. I can work out. I can go back to work. I can do this. I can take care of a child with special needs. And I hit a massive breaking point with our first right after open heart surgery, and my husband had no idea. I hid it so well. And I think a lot of us can hide it well. A lot of us are like very like we can hide anxiety, we can hide, the mental load we're carrying so well that not even our loved ones know. And I think that's something that you and I have both experienced. Like when you hit that burnout and that breaking point, you don't want to see other moms have to go through that
No.
to learn. Like we are saying this because we don't want you to have to hit that phase of burnout. We don't want you to have a like breaking point where all of a sudden you realize the hard way, oh my gosh, my health matters too. And there's like this quote I love. It's not about me first, it's about me too. Like you as a mom, your needs are just as important as your babies, as your spouses. Like we're all equal playing field. Like
Hmm.
everybody in the family is an equal, part of the team, and all of our needs are so important.
Oh my gosh, I wish I would have like followed you more closely because I honestly think I had postpartum depletion because
Oh, yeah.
all my food choices were like they weren't unhealthy, but it was just all fast. Like whatever I
Mm-hmm.
could eat the fastest. And not I honestly don't think I was eating enough variety. Anyways, and like you crash. And it's like
You
just
crash.
everyone coming behind us. We're just trying to help like get you good information because like the crash was so hard.
It was. It was. And we want you mamas listening to just be your healthiest self mentally, physically. Like we want you to be strong and to be able to carry that car seat and keep up with your kids and to be able to get in the kitchen even if it's for 5 to 10 minutes to make yourself a snack. Like you are just as deserving of a snack. You are just as deserving for getting a walk, a cup of coffee, a shower, whatever that looks like. And those things sound simple, but they add up. If you can build that consistency in your day, even if it's 5 minutes, it really genuinely adds up for your mental health. So, is there anything else you want to share specifically about this topic before we dive into how to find you and your app?
No, I don't think so. I think it's the main thing that I think we're both passionate about is whatever is done is done. Like, don't be hard on yourselves. It's not worth it. It's
Mm-hmm.
just, today's the new day, tomorrow's the new day. The season you're in is hard. Just to give yourself that grace, but to also be open to working towards feeling better.
Yes. I love that. I love that. It's like your past does not predict your future. So if like your past did not necessarily look the way or as healthy as you wanted, that's okay. You can choose a different future and you can choose it very slowly. Like those baby steps are so important. You do not have to flip up your entire lifestyle upside down today. Just take some sort of little step moving forward today. And if you have a day where you get off, like we're heading into the holidays when this episode comes out, and we're probably going to get thrown off with our workout
Yeah.
routine and our nutrition. And that's okay. That's totally fine. Then you can wake up tomorrow and say, today's a new day. What can I do today for myself
Mm-hmm.
to fill up my cup? So, can you share a little bit more about your app? And we will link everything in the show notes so that you guys can easily, try out the app and everything. And then your podcast and any other free resources that would be helpful for mamas.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Expecting and Empowered app, we really try to make it a one-stop shop. And the coolest thing is that with the subscription, you get every single one of our programs. Our signature program is the pregnancy and the postpartum programs, which take you exactly throughout your pregnancy and postpartum. And then we added an advanced postpartum program because people were graduating from our postpartum program. We've got a core class, a C-section program, a return to running program, postpartum yoga, and prenatal yoga. So we've really made it so that whatever your workout interest is, or maybe your energy level is, for those pregnant mamas that were feeling really tired, they were saying, like, can we please have prenatal yoga? Like, some days I
Yes.
just want to stretch. And we said, you know what?
Yes.
Absolutely. Like, we hear you loud and clear. Same with runners. Runners are like, could we have a running program? And we're like, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Like, we can make that. So we really wanted to make it robust, but also the app will drop you exactly where you need to be. So
Yeah,
it
I love
is
that.
very clear. You answer a couple questions and then it's going to put you into our signature program. So, like, you will not have to worry where you need to be. It's going to put you there.
Mm-hmm.
And then our biggest platform is Instagram. We show up there every weekday and we are always bringing free information. We also have a podcast. And the cool thing about being in business for 8 years now is we are expecting and empowered everywhere. So
I
everywhere
love
you
it.
go, we are going to be expecting and empowered, and we're pretty easy to find.
Yeah, I absolutely love your podcast and your app. I've been using your app. I loved it during pregnancy too. And it's just it's such an easy thing that you can implement throughout your day. Like I love that depending on where my kids are napping, I'll either come down into my space where my weights are, or if my kids are up, I'll bring my weights upstairs and I'll have them grab like little toys and then they can pretend that they're lifting weights with me. Or here's also a hack for moms. Sometimes I will use my children as
Yeah.
weights. So my 2-year-old absolutely loves that. I know how much he weighs and I'm like, I can squat you. So I'll like hold him and we'll squat and he laughs and he thinks it's so fun. So it's totally fine to also involve your kids with your workouts. But if you also want to do it during nap time when you have peace and quiet, that's totally fine too. But the app has been such a game changer for my postpartum and pregnancy experiences. So I want to thank you for creating it because I have been loving it. And we'll link everything in the show notes. And thanks again so much for spending your time with us and just really cheering these mamas on and the community who need to hear this message. So
Thank
thank you so
you.
much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Exercise is crucial for our overall mental and physical health, especially during pregnancy and postpartum. Something that has helped me stay really consistent with strength training and yoga at home during nap time is the Expecting and Empowered workout app. I love that I can choose how many weeks pregnant or postpartum I am, and the app tells me exactly what to do. Plus, there's cardio, yoga, and strength training options for new moms and moms to be. You can go ahead and click the link in the show notes to get 7 days free and also save 15% off the annual option when you use promo code Nutrition for Mamas. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and listening to the Postpartum Shift podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, it would mean the world to me if you could share this episode with a mom friend and leave a written review. This helps the podcast reach and help even more moms. Come say hi over on Instagram at Nutrition for Mamas.